Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel for this week's Toolbox safety topic video. Before we get started, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below here to encourage me to make more videos of this type. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel where you will find additional videos of this nature, other safety related videos, and leadership training videos. Well, let's go ahead and get started with this week's Toolbox safety topic video. Now, the past few episodes or past few videos, we've been talking about hearing and hearing protection on the job site. In this final video, we'll be talking about noise-induced hearing loss in construction. Now, this article is by Matt Luman with 360 Training. Noise-induced hearing loss, or NIHL, may not be the first construction hazard that comes to mind, but it's so gradual victims may not realize anything is wrong until it's too late. Permanent hearing loss is devastating. It cannot be corrected with surgery or hearing aids. About 23,000 cases of occupational hearing loss were reported in 2007, and 22 million workers are exposed to potentially damaging noise each year. A study found that between 1996 and 2010, 58% of workers experienced significant abnormal hearing loss due to noise. Nearly 80% of welders suffered some form of hearing loss, and 47% of roofers experienced NIHL. The construction industry saw the second highest number of workers exposed to noise hazards, followed only by manufacturing. Now let's talk about some of the noise hazards in construction. A construction site is a noisy place to work no matter what precautions are taken. Regular 8 hours of exposure to 85 dBA can damage your hearing. If you have to use a jackhammer for an hour per day, you may experience hearing damage. The higher the noise level, the faster the hearing loss. Now, this is bad news for construction workers because much of the equipment they use regularly is above the 85 dBA exposure level. For example, a jackhammer is a 100 dBA. A chop saw, 105 dBA, a chainsaw, 110 dBA, a drill hammer, 115 dBA, and a oxyacetylene torch can be as high as 120 dBA. Now, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, also known as NIOSH, found that a 25-year-old carpenter is likely to have the ears of a 50-year-old person who has not been exposed to noise. You may be exposed to various types and levels of noise of varying duration for much of your workday, but hearing damage and the symptoms can take time to develop. That's why many employers provide yearly hearing tests for workers routinely exposed to hazardous noise levels. This can help determine if more needs to be done to protect your hearing. There are a number of devices like sound meters or dosimeters that measure noise levels, but you often don't have access to them while you're working. So, what do? Use the 2 to 3 foot rule. Standing at arm's length away from a coworker, that's 2 to 3 feet, if you need to raise your voice to be heard, then the sound level is probably at or above 85 dBA. Now, here are some telltale signs of hearing loss. Most occupational hearing loss is gradual, though the rate is greatest during the first 10 years of exposure. Continued noise exposure can cause hearing loss of frequency needed to hear speech. Awareness of the symptoms can help you identify possible damage and take the precautions necessary to reduce the damage. Signs of hearing loss include noise or ringing in your ears, difficulty hearing people on the phone, regular speech sounds like mumbling, difficulty hearing people when there's background noise, trouble hearing cell phone rings or backup alarms, or people have to repeat what they've said, or you hear muffled or distorted speech sounds. Also, OSHA recommends a self-test for workers who drive to work. Before you get out of your vehicle, turn off the engine and set the radio to a talk radio station so it's barely loud enough to hear. At the end of your workday, before you start the engine, note whether you can hear the radio with the power on. If you have trouble hearing it, there may be damage and you'll need to do a better job to protect against high noise levels. Now, how do you minimize the hazard? There's administrative controls, engineering controls, and personal protective equipment that can limit noise levels and exposure. OSHA recommends a 3-step noise hazard control process. Number 1 is to reduce. Use quieter equipment. Number 2 is to move. Use extension cords to move the equipment further away, such as generators. Or block. Build temporary plywood barriers to block the noise, or put a wooden box over a loud generator. Now, planning is the best weapon against noise-induced hearing loss. When work is scheduled in an environment or with equipment that may pose noise hazards, employers can conduct regular safety meetings to inform of the hazard, build sound barriers, reschedule the loudest task for when there's fewer people around, procure quieter equipment, limit the hours each worker has to work in hazardous noise areas, and post warning signs in hazardous areas and near equipment, and also require hearing protection. Let's talk about protecting yourself. Sometimes administrative and engineering controls aren't enough to adequately reduce noise to safe levels. Construction workers likely to be exposed to harmful noise should wear hearing protective devices. The various types of protection available are designed for specific conditions. Proper and consistent use of these devices is imperative for effective protection. If they aren't comfortable and convenient, you might not use them, so it's important that employers procure well-fitting, easy-to-use PPE. When selecting and wearing hearing PPE, consider the communication needs, convenience and comfort, noise level of the task, and noise reduction of the devices, and the hearing ability, and also the hygiene. Typical hearing protective devices include roll-down foam plugs, reusable earplugs, custom molded plugs, canal caps, and earmuffs. Remember, your employer is required to provide you with the necessary PPE. If you don't see it, ask for it. Knowledge is power and safety. Education and communication are vital. Under OSHA, employers are required to provide workers with safety training in a language and vocabulary they can understand. Workers need to know the permissible limits, the DBAs of common construction tools and tasks, the noise, and the duration levels that cause hearing loss, and how to protect themselves. Remember, you have a right to know. One of your rights under OSHA is the right to be informed about the hazards you may face on the job. Workers should also be encouraged to inform supervisor of noise hazards they encounter on the job. Employers cannot address a hazard if they don't know about it. While hazard analysis and safety programs should always be in place, new hazards may arise periodically. Well, remember, safety is a team effort. All right, boys and girls, that's it for this week's Toolbox safety topic video. Thanks for stopping. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up down below here to encourage me to make more videos of this type. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel where you'll find additional videos of this nature, other safety-related videos, and leadership training videos. And until we see each other again, take care of yourself because you're number one. Look out for your co-workers and help ensure their safety. Have a grateful day. And remember, I will see you in the field. Let's see here. Let me read that. 8%. All right. Let's get this party started. And remember, I will see you in the field. All right. Let's see what we got now. Ooh. Time. Hey, boys, stay here late tonight. Make me stay late. All right. Hey. Thanks for watching. Stop recording.